What is up, guys? Welcome back to another episode of Video Nasties, back with retro horror. And today we're doing Don't Go in the Woods Alone from 1981. Have the Vinegar Syndrome and 88 release because that's what I do. And yeah, gonna let Retro go through a quick synopsis for you guys, and then we'll give our thoughts on the film and everything like that. So it's all you.
All right. Well, 1981, Don't Go in the Woods Alone. This is basically a backwoods slasher. You've got four campers that have decided to take a weekend in the woods, and they, with an assortment of other bastards, about 12 of them, end up getting mauled and slaughtered by this mountain man with a jingly sword. I mean, it's a stick, jingle stick, I guess you could call it. No plot. I mean, it's basically just goes right into a massive set of killings. I've counted 13, depending on how you count. But it's a bizarre slasher film. It was shot in May of 1980. I guess it was released in 81, but it was shot in Utah May of 80. And I think it was done, basically, it has to be done tongue in cheek. This is not a serious slasher film. There's just no way.
Yeah, if you watch the making of thing, you get some information from the director that it's his version of some kind of comedy. Like, he wasn't trying to be serious when he made this movie, but
yeah. And there was from a production standpoint, some of the people that were involved wrote the script and I guess put the money in, wanted this to be a serious slasher film, because on the Vinegar Syndrome release that I've got, you can actually look at the script. It's like a 30-page script, and it looks like a serious story, like they're a serious backwoods slasher. But the director clearly, and even in the hour documentary, talks about basically he did this tongue in cheek. He wanted to just do it with a sense of humor. In fact, that closing song that they did was so bad, but so good. It was so good, so bad that he just left that song at the end of it, which just, there's that and the organ music. There's so much in here that just, it can't be serious. It can't be taken serious. It's almost like Trauma. I think, and if there was an analogy I'd make, it's kind of Trauma-esque.
Yeah, definitely. I know it does have a little bit of conversation behind the scenes with the guy who did the music for the movie and everything too, like you were talking about with that end song. And I guess he is real proud of the music for this movie. And I don't know why, because the music really takes you out of, it being a serious movie. It's just so misplaced, in my opinion. The sound effects and, I mean, the acting, the dialogue is just horrendous, like the worst acting I've ever seen in a movie. But I guess that was his intention. So,
well, nobody in the film, and I think the lead guy playing Peter even said, "Look, I'm not an actor." I mean, so you got cast and crew, you got crew members that are basically fodder for the killer in this thing. But there are some, this one is a classic example of it's so bad it's good. But even with that bad is good kind of mindset, I still can only give this like a 4 out of 10. It's just not good, but it is entertaining. It has some entertainment value because it's so over the top ridiculous.
Yeah, and even other people were mentioning in the Vinegar Syndrome group on Facebook that, and I'm glad I wasn't alone in this, like some of the kills, you don't even know what happened. Like they just happen, and they happen so fast that you don't even know what you just saw. It was just like,
well, it's sloppy editing. It's terrible. There must be, this movie probably would win a statistical award for the number of edits in it. I mean, this thing is, putting this together must have been a labor of love, because there's so many quick edits in this. It's crazy.
Yeah, and I'm going to say the film stock that Vinegar Syndrome had to use, because I believe 88 uses the Vinegar Syndrome transfer, if I'm not mistaken. No, it's a brand new transfer on the 88 one. So
So which one did you watch? Just
I watched the Vinegar Syndrome one as well, so I'm going to have to throw in the 88 to see if the quality is any better. This was a 2015 release. Oh, they're both 2015 releases as far as the actual Blu-rays. So
yeah, I'd be curious to know about the PQ on the 88.
yeah, because it wasn't very good even with all the restorations. So they had to have filmed this thing on some really crappy film stock. I mean,
Oh, well, they spent $400 on the film stock. That tells you.
right.
You
I
know,
believe it's 16 millimeter, wasn't it?
yeah. So you get what you pay for sometimes. But it's amazing the quality of the restoration on this. It's
Oh
unbelievable.
yeah. I mean, this is my first time watching it. I can't imagine watching this on like VHS. I mean, it'd be unwatchable. But
So
for those wondering about the two releases, we kind of compared them already before we started the video. It looks like the Vinegar Syndrome release, you get that commentary with the hysteria continues that you don't get on the 88 release. The 88 release does include a talk show appearance that you don't get on the Vinegar Syndrome release. So if you're a real big fan of this movie, then I guess pick both of them up. Or if you collect both labels like I do, then, but not much else in the way of features being on one more than the other. So
yeah, there's an hour long making of on both of these, and on this one, they've got a DVD coming out party.
Yeah.
Where this puppet interviews the cast and crew for like 30 minutes. It's pretty silly.
I watched about 5 minutes of that and I couldn't take anymore. Well, that and like the way it was shot, you hear all like the background noise and you hear like this loud thump every now and then, and it's almost as unbearable to watch as this movie. It's just,
well, the sound effects and the music, I don't know if they're using an organ or a Casio keyboard, but it was horrendous. I mean, it was like chalk on a chalkboard is what it was.
And you got the woman like just yelling around, Dale.
Oh, now I have to admit, now there's zero character development in this. There's zero plot in this, right? All they're doing is inserting these characters for the killer, to get. But I have to admit, I kind of like Dale with his red. Was that rose beret? And he had a beret on.
Yeah.
It was rose or pink colored beret. I couldn't wait to see him get killed. I thought that was great.
I think my favorite kill in this was, I mean, obviously there's going to be spoilers, guys, if you're still watching after. Is the guy in the wheelchair, because it's in there for no reason, for one.
Yeah. Well, everybody
out of nowhere.
Yeah, all the characters come out of nowhere. There's no plot. I mean,
the poor guy struggles to get back in that damn wheelchair and then just gets his fucking head cut off. Like that poor guy. Come on.
Well, and you have to admit now the hippie Volkswagen van. Come on, that was pretty funny. That was, and then they push the mountain man pushes the hippie van down the hill.
Yeah, I mean, I'll admit there's probably a couple kills that I missed because I was so taken out of this movie that I was on my phone quite a bit during this one. Yeah, and that's pretty rare that I do that, but oh my God. I will say it never got boring, though. I mean, there was always something happening, but.
Well, actually, now that you say that, the third act kind of grinds to a halt because what happens is the sheriff. By the way, that sheriff is a friend of the director. He's from Lufkin, Texas, which is right on the border of Louisiana and Texas. But the sheriff, he's going around, prowling around, looking for the mountain man, and the film just grinds to a halt, watching him kind of walk around the forest that's it's unusual for a slasher. Usually, the third act is where it picks up, but really the first hour of this is just nonstop, and then it just kind of slows down.
Now, I do think it got a little bit better and a little bit more like a real film once the main one, I forget her name, the main chick with the really short hair, once she's attacked and stuff, I think it really kind of starts to become a little bit better at that point. Yeah. Once the mountain man is really in it more, I think it becomes a little bit better. But until you see the Mountain Man, you're just like, what the fuck is even going on? Like, how are these people even dying?
What's the deal with the Mardi Gras beads on his face? I mean, that's
Yeah, and they do mention that in that making of thing too. The costume designer chick thinking that was a good idea to put that on.
yeah. Apparently, they were trying to emulate some Siberian mountain man. I don't know. The Mardi
Yeah,
Gras beads kind of just throws it for me.
I believe that was the director's wife at the time, and then you have his now wife, who's also a costume designer, um, in the behind the scenes thing as well. So apparently, he's just attracted to costume designers.
I guess I don't know. So in the yeah, I'm a big fan. I'm sure you are too of Joe Bob Briggs. Love Joe Bob
Yeah,
Briggs, and I've put together a list of the kills, kind of in Joe Bob Briggs fashion. I thought I'd run through these real quick. Well, I don't know how quick it is. It's 12 of them, uh, but it's kind of entertaining. I wrote these down. You've got one bird watcher who gets the Monty Python and the Holy Grail treatment. Have you seen that movie? Where he, you know,
long ago. So that's when he gets his arm cut off there, right at the beginning.
his arm cuts off and blood's
I
jetting out of his arm. I mean,
yeah.
that's definitely.
I knew right then what kind of movie we were in for. It's like, all right, this isn't going to be a serious movie, right off the bat.
That was great. I mean, the whole thing is a Monty Python kind of skit. You got one belt strap strangulation. That's poor old Dale in his rose beret. You got one face smashing into a van window. Yeah, I count that as a kill. One Volkswagen hippie van hillside tumble. And don't you think she looked like olive oil?
I know when he says something about her being like the most beautiful woman and shit, I'm just like, what? Are we looking at the same person here, man? What are you talking about?
Man, she makes Barbara Streisand look kind of good.
Jeez.
One slashing death on a paint canvas.
Yep,
One,
with the baby in the background. That was weird.
yeah, that was weird. One swinging bear trap to the face. One stabbing with a jingle stick. One accidental impalement with a tree branch. One multi-angle slashing in a mountain man's cabin. That was probably the kill that really, if this silliness warrants getting banned, I mean, really the kill with the girl and the cabin, yeah, that was pretty intense. I mean,
yeah, that was actually a real genuine slasher movie moment for me.
I think that was a standout scene. One wheelchair decapitation, one mountain man machete tree branch stabbing, and then multiple sleeping bag thrashings and stabbings. So that's my list.
Yeah, and when I saw the first sleeping bag kill, I'm thinking, okay, that one, and I mean, you can take that one and the wheelchair scene to go back to, Friday the 13th, taking from those kills.
Oh yeah, well that's why I mentioned May of '80s when they shot this, because it's really, you kind of want. It's hard for me to believe that Sean Cunningham or anybody else saw this and said, "Hey man, let's copy the sleeping bag kill." But who knows? I mean, it might have happened.
I mean, sleeping bag kill is kind of original at that time, so
yeah. I can't think of another film. I can't think of another film prior to this that had a sleeping bag kill.
Right. So, I mean, but maybe they came up with theirs first, but this movie was shot first. I mean, who really knows? I don't think anyone would ever really tell us the truth. So,
well, I still say that the original Friday the 13th was copied Bay of Blood, Mario Bava's Bay of Blood.
Oh, yeah.
Pretty much.
There's been a lot of talk about that.
Yeah. I don't know. This is clearly, when I think of It's So Bad It's Good, I think of Don't Go in the Woods Alone. This is it, but at the end of the day, it's just not good. It's just,
I was gonna say, I mean, for me, it's not so bad it's good. For me, it's so bad it's just bad. I'm sorry. I got very little enjoyment out of this. Like I said, besides the scene where she's getting sliced up in the cabin, I mean, I really do like that scene. Other than that, though, I really couldn't care to watch this movie again, and I own 2 fucking copies of this crap. And, I mean, I'll keep it in the collection for further things in case we need it for something down the road. But I don't know.
Well,
It's just amazing, though. You can make a movie for a few $100 back then, and it still holds some kind of value and some kind of place in somebody's heart today. That is truly amazing, though.
no, it is. Yeah. Well, as far as the gap in my '88 film slasher collection, this one is a gap. I don't have this one because I got the Vinegar Syndrome. I'm fine with it. I'm fine
You
with
know what?
Yeah, there's a number of sequence problems. I think. What is that?
There's no booklet either, so I mean that takes away.
Is that number 3?
It is number 3. Yes,
Yeah, that's okay.
it's.
I'll live.
I love the artwork for this movie, though. They did a good job, advertising for it. But
Oh yeah, they're talking about a sequel, like a
yeah,
modern day sequel to this thing.
I mean, there's one that the director did that sounds kind of similar to this. If you look up the director, he did a movie in I think 2016. Yeah, called Jungle Trap. So it's kind of seems like along the same lines, but they're in the jungle
Yeah.
or something. But yeah, in the features they talk about it. Don't go in the woods too or something. But
Well, the director was doing. I don't know if it's softcore or hardcore porn, but a lot of his titles as director looked like porn titles to me.
he also did the other Vinegar Syndrome title, Hell Riders, the VSA release. So I'm definitely looking forward to watching that one.
Hmm. Interesting.
Granted, it is a few years later. It was in 1984 that he did that. So
Yeah, James Bryan. He did quite a bit of softcore porn. It looks like.
and the other Vinegar Syndrome title, The Executioner Part 2,
Yeah.
which is highly sought out for Vinegar Syndrome collectors, completionists for the Blu-ray of that. Um,
I had fun with it. It's probably been like it's not probably. I mean, the last time I watched this was when the release came out, the year it came out. So revisiting it, and I even tortured myself with the commentaries. I didn't do all 3. I did the director, and I listened to Hysteria Continues. But yeah, I mean, it was. I can go another 5 years without pulling it out again. I know that.
yeah, I'm sure the Hysteria Continues commentary made this one a little bit better.
Yeah.
I don't know that I could sit through it again though. Right afterwards.
I wonder if I can. I didn't get this. Of course, this was re-released by Vinegar Syndrome with the slip. I wonder if I can just buy the slip.
I don't know if the slip's available now, or if that's just a Black Friday thing when they do that.
I don't know. I was just on their website because I ordered that pre-ordered that Forgotten Giallo 3. The February releases. I pre-ordered that, but I should have looked to see if there was a slip available for this. Well, you got the slip right there?
Yeah.
Yeah. It's not.
It's a nice slipcover.
Yeah. I've got a few Vinegar Syndromes, including this one that I don't have a slip for. Anyway, that kind of bugs me.
And I was so happy I just completed mine, but I'm trying to check for you right now.
So I was watching your video, you have all the Vinegar Syndrome releases now?
Yes, I have all of them with slipcovers. Well, I mean, all the slipcover editions. I don't have every Vinegar Syndrome release. I have every slipcover edition with the slip.
Okay.
I still have a bunch of like adult titles and shit to get. But the limited edition slipcover is sold out.
Okay. Well, oh well.
If you really wanted it, I'm sure you can find one in that group I just invited you to. So
yeah, I'll check it out. Well, what do we?
I don't really have much else.
No, I think we did. I think we covered it pretty well.
I mean, again, I don't do ratings, but this is free to watch on Tubi, I do believe. So if you guys are interested in checking this one out, definitely check on there first. I'll double check while we're here to make sure it's still on there. But while I'm doing that, if you have anything else you want to touch on.
Well, I was going to say, why don't we pick the next title? But I thought since I thought I'd let you pick the next title we do, since I picked this turkey.
Well, let me see if I printed out the list, and I don't know where the hell I put it. I don't know what I did with the list, man.
All
But
right.
yes, it is still free on Tubi. You guys can download the app on your phone or on your TV, on your smart TV, and watch it on there. I definitely recommend doing that first if you guys haven't seen it. Man, I don't know what I did with that list. It's gonna
Well,
bug me.
we'll just surprise them with the next one.
All right. No, I want to find the list. We're gonna edit this out. I'm gonna edit this together. I'm gonna find this list. Okay, so next week's film is going to be from section 2 of the list, which is ones that were dropped. Is that what that is?
They were, yeah, they were banned, but they weren't prosecuted. Basically, they were dropped from prosecution.
There we go. So we're gonna be doing Kill or None. So if anyone has this and you want to watch it before we do our thoughts and review on it, then awesome. And leave a comment on the video. And leave a comment on this video if you guys have seen Don't Go in the Woods.
By the way, before we go here, there's a section 3.
Oh, was there?
I'm putting together the list. Yeah, it's another 80 films. Section 3. Section 3 was video nasties that were, well, they were banned too. They weren't prosecuted. They were never prosecuted. But whenever they went in to confiscate titles and they found these titles, the cops could just confiscate them as well. Like Texas Chainsaw Massacre comes to mind. That's one that, for whatever reason, never made the list, but it's a section 3. So there's 80 more films in section 3.
Oh, geez. I think we're good with the 2 sections.
Yeah, I'll probably be dead in my grave. We'll still be doing this.
Between doing this and finishing our decades of horror movies, I mean, I think we're good there. So
yeah, the plate's pretty full. You're right.
But tune in this Thursday night, guys, around 8 o'clock Eastern Standard Time for 1984 horror films. And we should have a couple of other guests with us, too, or at least one other guest. We'll see how it plays out. And, I guess that's it. Again, check it out on Tubi if you guys are on the fence on this one, unless you're a completionist. So that's my opinion. I say, rent it kind of first, stream it first. 3.8 on IMDb. That's a little high.
Yeah, I gave it a 4, but really the 4 is entertainment value 4. It's a 2 or 3 as far as technical, but it's just not good. But entertainment value, I have to give it a 4. Hell, I give it a 4 just because of Dale with his red beret. Man, you got the balls to wear that, then that's
yeah. I will say some of the kills were pretty decent. I will say that. I mean, there's some really bad ones too, but some of them were pretty decent. I mean, the blood looks like paint a lot of times, but
they use barbecue sauce. Did you hear that? They use.
I heard that in the interview there, behind the scenes. Yep.
Yeah.
So, all right, guys, I think that's going to do it. Thank you for watching. I hope you guys are enjoying this series, and we'll catch you guys next time.
Thanks.
Later.